away with some other stuff, absolutely. You know, you could do that. And so we could look at some of those and try to pare it down and
I'm just interested in what they
Sure.
are, like furnishings, you know, 30 grand. What are we using now? We use signs, $8,000, I don't know what that is.
one of them's for the monument sign out front.
Oh, so this is the monument sign.
You need a sign out front.
We always want people to know who you are.
Yeah. You wanna know, guys like
Oh,
guys,
is it
police,
concrete or is there a wood sign?
plywood. What's the difference between the 2B, the garage floor to remain, and then replacing floor add drains? Is that
I
a
think,
must too,
no.
or the drains?
No, I think,
No, we broke that apart in an effort because of the base bid garage would include only doing what is kind of bare bones minimum to make it a functional garage. And then the alternate add would be removing the entire floor within the garage space and re-pouring it with drains so that it actually drained. And, you know, with some cars coming in and out and snow, it would function properly. So again, giving you the bare minimum and then also to take it to what it should be.
Right.
But my concern was, we obviously knew that, you know, when we did our budget for this, and it wasn't included in the drains. You know, like it's in,
Uh,
if you're recommending it.
It's an option. I guess we're trying to bring the options to the table. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing something on the overall budget, but the numbers that we've been working with since we came in here on the first phase seem to all kind of still be within that overall number. The fluctuating costs were maybe a little bit of the building maintenance, the roof and the HVAC units. We didn't really know what that was, I think, early on in the process. But for the rest of the building, phase 1, 2, and 3, I don't, Chief, am I wrong on saying that the numbers seem to be where they were from that original sheet that we brought in.
in December.
So I'm not- And again, we're trying to just bring the options to the table at this point to let you guys review and approve. I think it's also important to note that we're still in the schematic phase of this. Like the chief said, we haven't even fully designed phase 2A or B or 3. So we're putting schematic costs together at this point, and we're going to still continue upon your approval through that design process. And I think it's important that, you know, having Zimmerman on board, who's done a ton of police stations and have a reputable reputation for that, we're going to work on skinnying down the costs, come up with options, value engineer, and only put together what the chief truly needs, bring that back to you for approval.
Justin, Katie?
So this is agenda for update, and I'm just wondering, President Johnson, what you need to hear from the board, or what the chief needs to hear from the board as far as what happens next.
Yeah, so we're just gonna, this is just an update, kind of give you kind of budget numbers for the phase 2A and what we've kind of recommended. Certainly we have to come back and go through all, you know, the next steps with you and get your approval on those, and then we can make decisions along the way. And we can, if you want to nail it down farther, you know, Riley can work on that. I'm certainly sure that he can provide that. And you can make decisions along the way on that.
At what stage could you, would we go to Zimmerman to do more design work on 2A?
I think that's probably, that's the next step, is to have it.
Yeah, that would be probably the next step.
And that should go ahead right now, right?
Well, I mean, relatively soon, but I think we'd come back before we get a cost from Riley or Zimmerman to do that.
But we won't really, I mean, we need that to really get a better handle on what the cost will be too, because
You could authorize, you know, I don't know what Zimmerman's fee would be to redesign and complete construction documents, let's say for 2A, maybe $20,000 for them to complete the design. And then, yes, we'd have more detailed documents to work off of, and we could update our budget to be reflective of those plans.
we couldn't do that tonight because,
No.
but we could do it at a future meeting.
Correct.
We get our next meeting. Trustee Rozick?
I would just ask that if, I guess, at some point we decide whether we're doing the roof and HVAC or are we putting money into phase 2B. At some point.
You sound binary on that.
What'd you say?
He said you sound binary on that. We can do one or the other.
Well, I mean, you put the funds, I'm just saying, it's gonna be a decision point, whether we want to do the roof and the HVAC at some point or not. My question is, or my request
You
is.
said or 2A. I thought, I
2B.
misunderstood you, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, it was just 2B. So the funds are coming from the garage phase, 2B, to be utilized for the roof. So if we utilize them for the roof and the HVAC, that $1 million, you know, it's coming from the construction budget of 2B.
Right.
So if we decide to do that, at some point I'd like to update our long-range plan to reflect accurately what we're projecting, because this is not.
Sure.
I think that was the disconnect. You might be correct. I think you are, that there was a spreadsheet that had been shown by Riley with costs that were very similar. It's just that they're not reflected in our budgetary documents this year. And that was a misstep in my mind, like, because we should have been more accurate with that. Because it, you know, $1 million will have an impact on other things that we can fund during that time period.
Absolutely.
I guess I did have some conversations with Mark because we don't have capital project budgets, you know, which many other budgets agencies have a budget for a particular project, and I think you know, based on the presentation that I think about a year and a half or 2 years ago, she came like 4 or 5 times showing us all the pictures of the mold, and you know, we did that presentation and we talked about the purchase price of $2.5 million for phase 1 and $875 for phase 2. And I think that was what was in the long-range plan. So in the absence of having a part of our budget for particular capital projects, the budget is what's in the long-range plan. But the long-range plan is not really a budget. So I think part of what this confusion has been is that the budget decisions were one thing, and you guys were working under a different set of assumptions, and that's where I think we might avoid this confusion in the future if we actually have a budget for a particular capital project.
Okay, any other?
Yeah, so you presented if we do the phase 2A, and the roof and the HVAC, you need $874,000. So for in our budget document for next year, you're essentially looking for $875,000. I don't know if we're at 875 or 865. Check
I think
that.
we put 875 in for
Okay,
the
so
long-range
we're-
plan. Well, we put that in long-range plan.
Right. So you presented project work within the 875 and what we could accomplish.
But would we have to budget more than for the garage, or is it in the future year?
It'd be a future year.
Future
Yeah,
year, we'll
That's what I'm
decide.
saying, is that
It's,
we're utilizing those funds to do the repairs rather
Right.
than utilizing them for construction. So we cut, if we want to construct the next phase, then we just need to authorize more funding.
Right, okay.
So next year, I'm just presuming that we update, no differently than we did this year? You, at that point. I like to include myself in that. That you would just update the documents to reflect what you would anticipate them for the following year.
We didn't update them this year, but yes, we would.
Oh, okay.
You would, I think we would, but we didn't update. Because I mean, we didn't resolve.
Sure.
Like the roof.
Work in
and the
progress.
HVAC.
Right, work in progress.
Okay,
One thing is that even with these additions, we're still about 5.6 million, and we were getting quotes costing it 8 to 9 million for a new facility.
That's
We
right.
built a new facility, so we're still way below if we'd gone out and just built the whole.
the end game from that perspective looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to note as far as this update, I know it's all gonna come back, but I am comfortable with what's being requested. I do think that the maintenance costs are important to take care of. I do think that this is a bare minimum request, and it is in line with the discussion over the past several years. So I hope that we won't, I do value the opportunity and the request to double check whether there's ways to bring the projected costs down. However, I hope that we don't, I do trust that that we have set the expectation to work within the numbers that are available. And so I hope that that doesn't lead us into a place where we're thinking about, you know, trying to chase a number versus making a quality investment in something that our community needs and our department needs to function at the highest level possible. So I'm just hoping that we can stay on track with this and answer everyone's questions at the same time. But I just wanted to take note that I am comfortable with the presentation tonight, and I do think it does reflect what we've discussed over the past several years.
And I think that we've got the clarity that we're going to be looking at it by taking the purple out of it right now and looking at that in the future years.
I did just check the 2018 budget, and we have 865,000 in Fund 400 for this project. So we did budget for it next year.
Okay, thank you. Go on to the next item. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Menta, strategic initiatives, consider establishing an equality and human relations commission.
Right. I have to go back to where I need to go. So we've had many discussions in strategic initiatives about reestablishing. I think we talked about changing the title to just Human Relations Commission and taking equality out. There were a couple, I should say first, we've had several meetings with the school board, including the school board president came to an internal meeting where we talked about how we'd like to revise the ordinance. Then the BI board discussed it, and then finally, a week or two ago, the BI board reported to the school board, and Trustee McCaig and I attended that school board meeting to try to talk to the school board about it. And the school board is very interested and supportive of it. They had a little bit of a disconnect in terms of, we originally were asking them to appoint members, just sort of share appointments to the new commission, and they have a different governing model than we do that does not include committees or appointments to citizen committees. And so I think the conclusion of that discussion was that they were not comfortable doing that, but that they were interested in participating, and that the superintendent will come to the meetings, and that they will also appoint one of the school board members as an ex officio member of the Human Relations Commission. So we did talk about how the issues that we're hoping would be the focus of this group, you know, issues of complaints relating to discrimination, harassment, the need for education of the community in general. These are all issues that are not limited to either the village or the schools, that come up in both places, that we're one community. And so we definitely need to have the school board and everybody involved. So hopefully, even though we're not talking about a joint appointment like we have with marketing or the Recreation Commission, we'll still have some participation from the school board, and I think that's going to be very valuable to how effective the Human Relations Commission can be. We did have a few edits of the ordinance that one of them is just to take equality out and just call it the Human Relations Commission. I think we were all good on 26.1. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who was there. And then 26.2, 2A, the last sentence, to provide, the last sentence saying the Shoreland School District will assign staff or officials should be present when available to provide recommendations on appointed members. We wanted to remove that sentence.
Wait, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Okay,
Let's make sure that Diane's getting this too.
okay, we're all good on 26-1, right?
Except for.
We're all good
take
on
note.
that.
You're saying committee, right?
What?
I took some notes during the meeting when Nathan had stepped out.
I have notes if you want me just to read.
Right, you were absent during part of our
Oh.
discussion, so I'll add to those. I was nominated to be secretary. So if it's easier to go
You're
through
the only one with a pen.
section by section,
Yeah.
then
26-1,
I,
yeah. Actually,
I don't think we had any changes in 26-1, did we?
yes. We talked about, on section 4, B4, the second sentence, to shorten it to present the report to the village board, period, and